gather around the flame. The First Amendment's calling, shouting out our name. Congress should make no law, that's the promise we hold. No chains on our words, no stories left untold. Standing strong, holding up the sky. Religion, speech, press, assembly, petition. That's why no government boot on our neck, no overreach in sight. The founders wrote it ironclad to keep the power right. They knew tyrants would come, try to twist and control. These words in the parchment protect every soul. From the farmer in the field to the factory hand, your voice is your weapon across this blessed land. Freedom of speech, let it ring out loud and clear. The First Amendment standing tall, year after year. We won't be silenced, we won't be muzzled or tamed. This Constitution's our shield, forever untamed. From the mountains to the prairies, from sea to shining sea, we defend this sacred right. It's what sets us free. God bless the USA, where the truth can still be told. Freedom of speech, forever. Bold, brave, and bold. They'll try to cancel, they'll try to shadow ban, label hate speech what they don't understand. Big tech, big government, colluding in the dark. But we got the First Amendment, lighting up the spark. No law can gag the preacher, no rule can hush the crowd, no censor can drown the patriot shouting proud. This ain't just paper, it's blood, sweat, and fight. The heartbeat of liberty, burning through the night. So raise your voice high when the storm winds blow. Defend the right to speak, let the whole world know. From Cape Coral shores to the Rockies peak, we guard this freedom, it's ours to keep. The Constitution stands like a rock in the stream, protecting us all from the tyrant's bad dream. No king, no committee, no elite decree can never take away what makes us truly free. Freedom of speech, let it ring out loud and clear. The First Amendment's standing tall, year after year. We won't be silenced, we won't be muzzled or tamed. This Constitution's our shield, forever untamed. From the mountains to the prairies, from sea to shining sea, we defend this sacred right. It's what sets us free. God bless the USA, where the truth can still be told. Freedom of speech forever. Bold, brave, and bold. Freedom of speech forever. Bold. Yeah. Yeah. That's the sound of liberty ringing. First Amendment strong. America forever. God bless the USA.
All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is the Sights and Sounds of Earth right here on StarShip Adventures as things start to return to normal. After my quick whirlwind tour of Huntsville, Alabama, provided by the fine folks there at the Ham Fest. All right, so there you go. We're going to talk a little bit about that. There's a bunch of other things going on tonight. I'm going to be honest, there's no volcanoes. There's no live streams that I could find that were really interesting. There's not a whole lot going on. If you guys find any live streams, please put them in, because here's the honest truth. I couldn't find much. So I just typed in Key West and put the ones I like down there. So if you want to watch something better, give me a link. I didn't have time. Let me tell you what, about 30 minutes ago, of course, I got home an hour ago. I've been home for just under an hour, well, about an hour and 10 minutes right now. I got home about 10 after 8. Haven't ate dinner. I'll do that after the show. I've been sitting here, and I got the 3 or 4 or 5 things I had to put, the lighting mostly, and the microphone system. Everything else, I have 2 complete sets up. But when I go out, I like these particular lights, so I take them and I take the mic. I don't take the stand. I have a little stand I use. And I got it all set up really cool, guys, where I've got a tripod. You can actually see the tripod I'm talking about, because it's this one right here that's holding a circle light, and it's holding 2 of my old phones, a Samsung S10 and some kind of Motorola thing. And these 2 phones, if you can see them up there, see the 2 phones? One's the clock, and one is the local radar. And those are on all the time. I like to have those on anytime I'm here, so I can see what's going on out there with the rain and and have the clock up there. So I use my old devices. I actually looked through a bunch of tablets this weekend. This guy had a bunch, but most of them were Apple, and I want nothing to do with Apple components or programming. So I went ahead and didn't buy any of them. The ones I found, I pulled my charging cable out of my bag because I had my red bat and my battery in my bag. I pulled the red cable out and I started plugging them in, and none of them would come on. So I'm like, well, I don't think I'm buying any of this shit. What I want to get is I want to get 4 tablets. I want to get 4 of like 7 or 8 inch tablets. This one's a 10 inch. It doesn't need to be this big. They can be 7s, 8s, or 10s. And I want to put a board right here that I'm going to paint black. And I'm going to stick the 4 tablets on it and have the wires built into the side to where they charge and the wires go around behind it. And all 4 of them will be there, and they'll all have separate functions. Radar, clock, they'll all have different functions. And there's a lot of different things you can monitor with an Android device. So that's what I'm basically going to use it for. And one can be Fox News, one can be my return from this show coming back through YouTube. There's a lot of different things you can do with it. And so I've kind of been looking to figure something like that out. And I thought maybe that was a way to do it, but no, I wasn't going to buy those because they'd been to about 100 shows, those tablets, and it doesn't look like anybody's buying them because they're in such absolutely rough shape. I don't think anybody's buying them. All right, so anyway, here's what we've got for tonight. We've got a news roundup. We're going to do some news. We're going to talk about space weather. We're going to talk about volcanoes and earthquakes, all the usual stuff that we do here on the Sights and Sounds of Earth. Yeah, I don't like beer. I don't like the flavor. I don't like any alcoholic beverage to begin with. I will admit I've had alcoholic drinks that were pretty good. I got these ice drinks one night at this bar. We were on a ghost hunting trip, and we were in this bar in Orlando, and I got this drink called Call a Taxi. That's the name of the drink. And they served it, and it was so scrumptious and cherry. I couldn't, oh my God, I was like, oh, this is so good. And after the third one, I don't remember getting back to the hotel. I don't know how I got in my room. I don't know. I woke up the next morning with my clothes still on. It was fun, I guess. At least they tell me it was. Anyway, so yeah. So call a cab. Yeah. There's a few others. I like every now and then a good margarita is kind of good. Something salty. I kind of like that. And every now and then, if I was going to drink, believe it or not, years ago when I would have a drink with friends, because I haven't actually touched my alcohol to lips, my lips to alcohol in a very long time. Probably, honestly, 7-10 years. It's been a while, long time. Yeah. So but years ago, I would get a whiskey sour. I like those. They're nice. They're sour, and I like lots of flavor, very robust flavor. And if I'm going to do shots, I'll do either what's that mint? Oh no, not mint. Cinnamon, Fireball. I'll do Fireball or maybe some Goldschlager or Rumpelmints. All that childish bullshit because I can't stand the flavor of alcohol. That's the problem. Notice everything I drink has very strong flavors because I really don't like the alcohol. I don't like the flavor of it. Not as much on the high, to be honest with you. I much prefer other highs, if you know what I mean. But I don't like feeling out of control. And there's other things out there that give you a great high without feeling out of control. And when I drink, immediately I start drinking and I become paranoid. Like, I can't drive. Oh my God, what if I gotta go somewhere? I'm stupid. I don't know. It's one of them things, dude. It is. I don't like being out of control. I'm like a control freak. 63 in Detroit. I'll tell you what, the mornings are beautiful in Huntsville. Huntsville, Alabama. Great little place. A place where they actually drive a lot slower than they drive here, which I was kind of surprised. But Alabama drivers, nice, courteous, fairly slow driving people. Yeah, a little slower than down here. Down here, we got all the city folks coming down. We got people moving here from the greater New York area there, or the Chicago Metroplex, if you know what I mean. And we got all these people moving here. And they're starting to drive like they drive up there, and there's a lot of people down here like me. I drive zippy. Never go over 10 over the speed limit, but I consistently do 10 over the speed limit, and I drive fairly fast, and I like to get places in a reasonable amount of time. And down here we got a lot of retirees. So you've got this horrible interface between people that are driving really fast and people that are driving really slow. Yeah, it's kind of horse shit. What are you going to do? You know, the world's full of horse shit. All right, so I want to show you guys something on the way home past a crash. Yeah, crash. And I shot a video. Yeah, so I'm going to show you guys. What the hell, right? I sent it to Wink News, but I don't know if they actually used it or not. But let me go ahead and put it up full screen for you guys. Let me see if I can left capture full. Will this one do it for me? No. No, it's capturing the wrong screen. Damn you! That's my best Charleston Heston. So I got hung up for about 30, 40 minutes. It wasn't too bad, but I got hung up for about 30, 40 minutes in this mess. See the one on the other side of the road? See over here? Tractor right there? And that's what's left of his trailer over here. He jackknifed, went over the thing. His cab was sitting on the other side of the guardrail on the other side. So this wreck involves both sides of the road. There's Northport Police. And you can see there, you're starting to see the next one here, another box truck here. This was a big wreck. There was 4 or 5 commercial vehicles involved. City of Northport, fire. City of Northport, tanker truck. Who's that? That's, yep, City of Northport. Okay, and here we go. We got another big, huge, long triaxle trailer with a jackknife truck, and this one was on fire. You can see there they put the fire out just before we got there. And then there's another jackknifed trailer and truck there, and that one burned completely up. The truck and the trailer burned up on that one. So that's at least 4 towed vehicles involved in this crash. Yep, so there you go, guys. There's your on-scene reporting today from your fearless reporter here. And right before we took to air, I'm sitting here, and there's blue lights coming through the window. This is why I was a little late. Blue lights coming through the window. I'm like, here we go. They've already been up and down this road 3 or 4 times, pulling people over. So I go out there, and I walk right over there, and I'm standing there with my flashlight and my phone. And I'm watching, and I'm like, what's even going on here? Is this even important? And she, of course, runs them for warrants. She tries to search their car. It's all the usual bullshit. And then she just lets them go. She doesn't write a ticket because that would actually take work. They don't really care why they pulled you over. They're just using that excuse. See, I was a cop, and I think this is why some of this stuff bothers me so bad. They did this shit when I was a cop, but not as much. It's like nowadays, everything's geared around getting in people's private shit. And I really just don't like it. And the problem here is this is a poor neighborhood down my street. And so they love to work this road right here in front of my house. And they pull over every bicycle, every car that rolls the stop sign. It gets ridiculous. And people start to wonder why have cops earned so much hate lately? And you know what? When I was a cop, we didn't earn that much hate. It was very different in the 90s. I was a cop in the 90s. All right? I got out of it in 2001. And so I did all that. I did it for years and years and years. I worked different divisions. I did different things. I was an Explorer Scout before that, a dispatcher before that. I was a full-time. Guys, I have no idea what's wrong. I have no idea how long my mic has been muted. About 1,000 people told me it was muted, but I have no idea. I don't know when it was muted or what you guys missed or whatever. I did not turn my mic off. Oh, well, I have no idea. I think you can hear me now. I'm showing levels. So we're going to go ahead and... yeah, so I don't know. I don't know how much of what I just said you guys even heard. I don't know what I need to repeat. I don't know. I have no idea. The cat must have pulled something out. I don't know. I just reset everything and it's working now. Absolutely crazy. All right, so anyway... I don't know if you heard about, I got home from the trip. I don't know if you heard any of that. I got home from the trip. I couldn't find Eddie or Mama. Mama's fine. She was just hiding. She does that. She's perfectly fine. But Daddy, or not Daddy, Daddy I had to put down last week. Ed, my gray cat, Ed Earl, he was down. He couldn't even hardly stand up. And I don't know, that eye infection got really bad. And so my family, Stephen, took him to the hospital, to the animal hospital, North Shore Animal Clinic, right up the road. Very good people there. That's why I was showing you guys. This is the card that they sent me after we had to put Daddy Kitty down. This is Daddy Kitty's card. And just so you know, it's kind of a crazy thing, but I've got the envelope here, and I've got Daddy's hair. And this card and Daddy's hair and the receipt, because it's got the date and all the information on it, gets put in this envelope. And I have a drawer where I have all the keepsakes from my animals. I have, in 2006, when I buried Queezer, I have her brush with all of her hair in it. I just threw it in a Ziploc bag. I've got Scooter's brush. I've got hair clippings from Dee and Scooter and Mama Kitty, my old Mama Kitty. It's important for me. My cats mean a lot to me. And we don't have a cemetery. You know, they get buried out in the yard. I know about where most of them are, but we don't have like little tombstones. And so I just, I like to have a little bit of their hair. Little piece of them left, you know. And so I will put that in this envelope. I've got it over there. I clipped it before I took him, and I'm going to put that in this envelope with the receipt, which I got right there, because that has all the info, and that will go in the in my cat drawer with all my other cat stuff. Let's see here. But I think Ed's going to be okay. They filled him full of water. They put saline under his skin in 3 different places. And they also, like I said, steroids and a bunch of stuff. I'd bring him over, but he's sound asleep over there, and he's not feeling good, so I don't want to wake him up. And Mama's right over here. She's doing good. Here's Ted, that big sumbitch. Look at that big thing. I don't know what I'm going to do with him. He's too big. What am I going to do with you? Get off the keyboard. See, he is not good with anything like that. He's a big klutz. All right, let's see here. Okay, so I'm working on a video. It's going to take probably a week or so to complete. I'm working on a video about the Hamfest. And it's going to be the entire incident that happened, because we're filing complaints on all that, but we're not filing any of the complaints until the videos are ready. But I've already got a bunch of notes I've taken down on the complaints that I'm going to be filing and everything. But we now have, I think, video from 4 or 5 different cameras. And I'm going to be doing it in a neat multi-box, multi-screen format. So you'll be able to literally watch the thing go down. I guess that's a stereo outside. My God, it's so loud. Yeah, anyway, I don't even know what the hell that, what in the hell is that noise? I don't know. Anyway, regardless. So I'm going to have this video done, and I'm going to host it as a regular video. I'll let you guys know. We'll premiere it. I'm going to probably premiere it like I want it, if it's going to be like, it's probably going to be an hour long. The entire thing from start to finish is just under an hour. We're going to be adding captions. I've got a bunch of stuff I'm putting in it. It's going to have all the different videos. So in other words, it'll show you a full screen, but if there's 2 videos, it'll go box in box and show both videos at the same time. Also, during parts of it, I'm going to sync the audio. Okay, this is really cool. I'm going to sync the audio on the clips so that when a clip is up, you're hearing the audio synced. So hopefully it'll be easier to hear everybody. I'm also considering taking the audio and stripping it off and running it through Adobe Enhance and then putting it back in and then and anchoring it back to the video again. And that way when I chop the videos up, they'll have enhanced processed audio on them. So it's going to be a good video. I'm going to be sending it to my First Amendment friends that are into constitutional stuff, because our rights were definitely violated that day. And we definitely want to bring government down a notch when they start doing that kind of stuff. And so if you guys haven't seen it, you can go back and watch my live. I was literally walking in the Huntsville Hamfest. I had just showed everybody how absolutely crazy high the prices were. And all of a sudden, they're walking out Joseph, VTX. They're walking him out. And nobody really knows why. And we find out later, as I found out later from the cop, someone had posted a meme that I'm going to ruin the Hamfest, it said. I'm going to F up the Hamfest. And it's a picture of Joseph. Problem is, Joseph didn't make it. Joseph didn't post it. It's a setup. And this was posted apparently 2 days before. I didn't even know about it. The cop showed it to me on his phone. And I said, I don't know anything about that. I've never seen it. Well, apparently, it was not made by Joseph. It was not put out by Joseph or anything. So they kicked him out of an event because of a meme that he didn't create. He did nothing that day that violates their policies, and I've already downloaded their entire policy thing for the Von Braun Center. And it says in there, there's that if you're going to eject somebody, here's the reasons why you can eject somebody. We didn't do anything. There's not a single thing in there that anybody in our party had done that day that's within their rules. So they had no reason to kick us out, number one. Number two, it's a public venue. The cop kept telling me over and over and over, this is a private venue, it's a private place, it's a private building, it's privately owned. He's completely wrong, and I've got all the receipts for that. And in this video, we're actually going to put up excerpts of websites and different things where we're going to actually prove that the Von Braun Center is 100% public, run by a public board of public officials that are appointed by elected public officials. It's public. These cops, man, they think if they say the wrong thing enough times, it becomes right. And these are the same people locking you up on their word that you did something. So it starts to scare me a little. I was a cop, and it scares me how much power these people have and how they're abusing it now and how they treat the public. So anyway, I'm going to be making up this video, and we'll have it out in a week or two. Probably 10 days at the most. I'm really on it. I've already got it started. Moorhead, you're probably right. That probably was the most exciting thing that's ever happened at their Hamfest. It's a bunch of overreach. They just don't like him. Because when he was a kid, back when he was 15 or 16, a bunch of them were running around there playing laser tag, and the old men got all pissed off. And ever since then, they wouldn't let Joseph and his little group put their table in there. They wouldn't let anybody they wouldn't let anybody that's associated with him do anything there. And they've told him they don't want him coming to Hamfest. So that was the whole idea with the wig and the hat and all that. He literally wore a disguise and went in a wheelchair as an invalid. And he bought a bunch of radios, and he got to spend 5 or 6 hours in there. And then when he finally stood up and took the costume off, they immediately pointed him out. Oh, my God! And next thing you know, the cops are walking him out. But there was no laws broken. The cop himself said that 4 or 5 times that there was no laws broken. And there you go. And then the cop asked me, do you know him? I said, he's my friend. I said, we came here together. And he said, okay, then you're getting kicked out too. And they kicked me out simply because I admitted to being friends with the guy that they were kicking out for something that he didn't do. So this cop did no investigation or nothing and just acted like he did. Whatever. I don't want to get all back into it again, but yeah. Yeah, I one of the things that really bothers me, and if you go watch the First Amendment auditing community, which I suggest you do, you can learn a lot from watching these First Amendment auditors, and if you're in the Second Amendment, you can watch Second Amendment auditors too. And they're all Fourth Amendment auditors too, by the way, because the Fourth Amendment's very important to be secure in your papers and effects and things. That's what protects you from, in the words of the English, giving up your deals. You don't want to have to give up your driver's license or give your name to the police. You don't ever do that unless you've been pulled over or arrested. That's it. You never have to give your name to police unless you're being pulled over because you were driving a vehicle or you're arrested. They always say it's private when it's public. They always say you have to ID when you don't have to ID. It's kind of crazy. The cops are allowed to lie to you, and they do it. They lie to you all the time. They taught us how to lie to you to get what we want out of you in police academy. It's crazy. So, I don't know. I'm not anti-police. I'll never be anti-police because we need these guys. But we need them to act and behave properly and not set up our counties and cities for massive liabilities like this. Not that we're suing over anything, but I'm just saying. If every time they violate somebody's rights, they're looking at a $100,000 lawsuit, a $10,000 lawsuit, a $50,000 lawsuit, and that costs a lot of money. Sometimes it costs a lot more than the $50,000 because they had to defend it in the first place. Most of these cities, they just pay out now because they know they're going to lose, number one, and number two, it's a lot cheaper to just pay them the money than give half of it to your attorney and have to pay twice as much. All right, so anyway. We need our law enforcement. I'm pro-law enforcement. I support law enforcement. I have very good friends that are in law enforcement still that I used to work with years ago. I was in law enforcement. I was a deputy sheriff. And I'm a retired fire chief. I'm emergency manager, communications specialist. And I used to do a lot of stuff with public safety. And so when we start talking about this stuff, I really do feel like I know what I'm talking about. And I also am a constitutionalist that's very much into the Constitution and the First Amendment. And I just really feel that not only have cops gotten a lot ruder over the years, but the egos have just gotten out of control. And we need our cops. We need them badly, in fact. We just need them to deal with the bad guys and quit trying to think everybody's a bad guy. Why do they think everybody's a bad guy? Come on. Oh, that's hilarious, Lambert. It's mean, but it's hilarious. No, the donut fetish just comes. It does. You know, I didn't eat any, when I was a cop, I didn't eat donuts. I would walk into a place and they've got beautiful donuts. I go eat something else. I'll go get a candy bar. I would never, because you'd be sitting there in a gas station eating your donut and some asshole would walk in. Oh, look at a cop eating a donut. I didn't set myself up for it. That's all. Moorhead, that could be some of it. I wouldn't generalize all of it that way, but I think that could be some of it. Although it's hit and miss with the military too. I know a lot of foreign military people that are just the nicest folks. It depends on what they did and how much action they saw and different things like that. But anyway, there's definitely some truth to that though. Let's see what else. Yeah, the Hotel Huntsville. So anyway, yeah, nobody was trespassed, nobody was arrested, nobody was told they did anything wrong. It was simply they saw it was Joseph, and they asked him to leave, and Joseph left. I'm the one with the big mouth. Joseph left, and we actually have video. We have all these 4 or 5 videos that we're going to put up all at the same time, and when one starts, it'll be fit in. And all the audio tracks will match. It's going to be really cool. I've done a couple of these before with different things. And it's going to be great because you'll be able to follow it from start to finish, what happened. We're also going to add some backstory to the beginning. People need to know that, you know, Joseph's a young guy. He's very active in ham radio. He gets the youth involved. And they need to kind of know who they're talking about here before we get into the whole, yeah, he was kind of trolling him a little bit discussion. Did he do anything to hurt anybody or damage anybody's time? Did he do? No. He dressed in a disguise so they couldn't see who he was. And guess what? That's not illegal. It is illegal to give a false identity to a police officer. Other than that, you can pretty much tell anybody whatever the hell you want. It is interesting they haven't tried to remake the Police Academy movies. Those were fun movies. They did go downhill, but they were fun movies. Yeah, well, yes, Lambert. There'll be music. There'll be music at the beginning and the end, and it will be a special song that sings about the curmudgeons at the Hamfest. And yeah, absolutely, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. And I'm going to keyword it really well, and we're going to put it out there, and I think we're going to host it on 2 or 3 different channels as well. So it's going to have some reach. Because you know what? What happened to him is bullshit. Bottom line. And the way that security guard was MFing me and everything else, and the way that cop was speaking to me, he kept telling me, "You're being hostile. You're being hostile." And I'm like, your security guard was just yelling and waving his arms and screaming the F word at me. And yet I'm hostile? I haven't raised my voice. I never raised my voice. You know, the best thing in a situation like that is to never be the one that loses control. Because when someone watches that video later, whoever loses control loses credibility in the video. And so it's always important that when you're having a confrontation with police or with security or with event staff or whatever you're doing, it's important for you to be the calm one, for you to be the one that maintains themselves. Now, you can listen to me. I'm very assertive. But I'm not cruel or mean. And he called me names long before I started calling him names, and all I called him was a jerk about 5 times. I said, "You're being a jerk." And that's why you earned the hate. Yeah, I questioned you're 100% Moorhead. That's exactly it. No, Dom, there's nothing that will stop the ARRL. I got to tell you something. This was like the big ARRL meeting. I don't know. You know how they got there? They're like, they think they're the United Federation of Planets or something. But they've got their meetings of their meetings with their people that meet about meetings. And then they get together and meet and have meetings to discuss those upcoming meetings where we're going to be meeting and discussing these new kind of meetings that we're going to be meeting about at all these big meetups that we're doing. Yes, I just explained the ARRL. Oh, and you owe us $59. Yeah, the ARRL, I give them a lot of shit. I don't know if you guys know it or not, but I give the ARRL a rationing of shit. And I don't care because, listen, I'm going to tell you guys something. Any organization that calls themselves a volunteer organization and survives 100% on dues and services, okay? They don't get any money from the government at all. They don't get any money from anybody. All they get is that $59 a year for your annual benefit, for your annual membership. Running out of money would stop the ARL. Hey, VTX, what's up? Welcome in. I was just kind of hitting on that again. I didn't talk about it at all last night, but tonight, yeah, I did. All right, so I got to tell you, one of the fun things for me, it's always fun for me to beat up on the ARRL. You guys, I could tell you a bunch of stuff, but I think it's better to just watch the short that I did. This is a good one. This is a short that I did out there, and you guys can enjoy. Give me just 1 second to set this up. Actually, what the hell? We'll just do it on the full screen. Left capture full. There we go. All right, give me just a second to set this up. All right. It's stretched a little bit, but who cares? Hey everybody, Ian, StarShip Adventures. We are live. Oh, fuck. What's going on now? God, I get so sick of this thing. Oh, for God's sake, whatever. Sometimes I think this OBS is designed to just make you go out of your mind. All right, here, let me just set this up. Hold on. God bless it. I need a producer is what I need. Son of a bitch. The way it coordinates windows, it is terrible. If you click out of the window you're on, it puts you all the way in the back again, and now you have to click through all your frickin' windows to find where the hell you're at. All right, so anyway, I really smash on the ARRL here, so I'm going to show it. If I can get this thing going here. All right, here we go. Hey everybody, Ian, StarShip Adventures. We are live at the Huntsville Hamfest, and behind me right there, the American Radio Relay League. The echo of the past. It still seems to be here at every Hamfest. They rent 4 or 5 booths. They sell a bunch of books and old stuff, but the truth is the organization is just not doing very well right now. They're losing members every year. They pay their president, their CEO, $360,000 a year plus benefits. And they wonder why they're failing. They spend over half of the donated money that they get, they spend it on staff and manpower. It's supposed to be a volunteer organization, yet they pay very well to the people that work there. Again, the CEO, $360,000 a year, plus benefits and leave.
So when you look at it, it's basically a failed organization that's literally living on its laurels. It's living on what's left of honor and integrity. I talk to so many people that say, well, I still pay my ARRL every year because that's the thing to do to support ham radio. And no, it's not. It's actually a waste of about $60. The best thing you can do for ham radio is to get involved, get on the air, come to events like this and do good things. But you don't have to be a member of some has-been group that's losing membership at about 8 or 10% a year. And a group that takes your $60, no longer provides a printed magazine, pays their CEO $360,000 a year. You decide whether that's what you want to do with your money, is pay it, line the coffers of some CEO that we never see and we never hear from. What an absolute waste. Oh well, that's the American Radio Relay League, the has-been group that just hangs around. Every day it's here, everywhere we go it's here. And I think one day maybe it'll finally fold up and go away, which is what needs to happen. New groups have formed, and many people are joining these new groups. You have to find a group that still is looking out for your best interests. You have to find a group that still wants to do youth involvement. You have to find a group that's nice and that's welcoming to new groups and teams that want to join. This was the big problem I had with them. They wouldn't even speak to me because once they have one big team in a town, they're not going to let anybody else. So there you go. All right, everybody, my name's Ian, StarShip Adventures. We will be live here from the Huntsville Ham Fest in just a little while. Thanks for watching.
So there you go. It was that was the first one, and that wasn't the rudest one I did either. I went back over there on my live. Now before we even got into it too far there, as far as the kicking us out and all that bullshit, before we even got to that, we had all kinds of stuff. I went back over there and I talked so much shit right in front of them. I can't believe that. I can't believe none of them came over. Not one of them would come over and say something. I was hoping to interview somebody or something. I want to show you guys how much space the ARRL, the American Radio Asshole League, I want to show you how much space these pricks used up this year. And guys, it's a lot. I was surprised. I'm like, what are they doing? Do they think they have to do this because they're a bunch of losers? And I was kind of not impressed, really. They kind of had like a store this year and everything. So here, I'm pulling it up for you right now. It's going to be a little weird, but I'm going to get it on here for you. Okay. So at this point, and we're not going to do the whole video or anything, but I want to show you guys over on where the red curtains are over here. This is kind of where all your big businesses ended up, where all your big clubs and organizations were. And so I worked my way around here, and I finally get over here to the ARRL thing, and I'm a little stunned by how big it is.
The right thing for ham radio, but they're not. Do you know that the CEO of the ARRL, the CEO of the ARRL makes $360,000 a year plus benefits. $360,000 a year plus benefits.
And I'm talking like in a loud voice.
You know, I will never support a volunteer organization that pays 55% of all the money they get from their members to salaries and benefits for an elite group of people that run the organization. It's a ripoff.
All these people are listening to me. Look at them. They're all being still. They're all not talking. They're all listening to me.
And they're very, very stuck in the old days. They still print everything in book form, and they still do like. They did printed magazines, but they took that away because they couldn't afford it anymore. Yep, they raised the dues $9 a month and gave their CEO a raise from $320,000 to $360,000 in 1 year. That's the American Radio Relay League, the biggest waste of money in ham radio, right there in front of me. And really upsets me that so many of these old men believe that by paying dues to these ARRL, to this club, that by paying dues to this club, they're somehow saving ham radio. These people will tell you, if I walked up there without my camera and I started talking to them, and I said, what do you guys do to protect ham radio? The first thing that woman over there would tell me is, okay, here's what we do. We lobby for ham radio. We lobby for frequencies. We lobby to make sure that they don't take away what we have. We lobby to make sure that everything's good. We lobby to make sure. You know what the fact is? Yeah, they spent twice as much on their CEO as they did on lobbying last year. Yeah. So the number one reason they tell you that they exist is to lobby for you, and yet they spend twice as much money on their CEO than they do on the actual lobbying that they say that they're doing for you. I mean, it's really crazy when you think about it. And these people don't know any better. You know, they think that by supporting the ARRL that you're supporting ham radio, and that couldn't be further from the truth. As a matter of fact, many of the things that are wrong with ham radio now happen right here with this group, this ARRL. They think they're so big and mighty, and they're not. They just suck, whatever. I just love how they rented this whole section. Look at this. They rented this whole section. And for what? For what? You know what? It's called propaganda. That's right. It's called propaganda. Oh, look, they're over there too. They've rented like half of this hall. So rather than having radios to buy, we've got half the hall rented by the ARRL so that they can try. Oh, here we go. This is the ARRL America 250. Like they had anything to do with that.
Oh, for Christ's sake with the ads. I'm so sick of these stupid games. I just bitch about my own ad.
When I called these people over and over and over, trying to start a group with these people, they wouldn't even call me back. This is the most worthless organization in ham radio, and it has been for a long time, unfortunately. And people don't seem to get it. They'll sit there and say, we're doing good for ham radio. No, you're not. You're not. You're not doing anything for ham radio. You're not. You're charging a lot of money, you're spending a lot of money, but you're really not doing
As I spin around there, all these booths are ARRL. They had like 20 people there. I'm sure they were paying them all big money. And they had 20 people there, and they were talking to everybody about, oh, you got to join our club. You got to pay the $59 because our CEO is hungry.
Anything to help further ham radio. What a shame. Anyway, here's ICOM, like I said, one of the overpriced companies that sells these radios.
Okay, that's not anime porn. That's one of those space games. Okay, so before we start rumors here, Moorhead, please understand that's not porn that came up. That is a space game that they've been trying to get me to play for a month now. And they also try to get me to play the Star Trek Online and all these other games, and I don't have anything to do with them. But that was not a porn recommendation. I just would like to make that perfectly clear.
Those radios up there...
Not that one won't pop up, but that wasn't one.
$4,000, some of them. And the Chinese parts to build them cost less than $100. So the rest is just shipping and assembly. So you can imagine it's a $250 radio, and they're selling it for $3,500. Like I said, it's one of the biggest markups in retail out there, ham radio. And it's because they've got a captive audience of a bunch of older people that have money.
No, I know, Moorhead. I didn't mean I was pissed. I'm just making sure people understood. That's all. It was funny, actually. But what you said was funny. But I just want to make sure people know. There was a politician that's running for office in another state, and he made the joke. His thing kept coming up, this ad kept coming up, and he made the joke. He goes, I don't know why OnlyFans is the only ad that comes up on my phone. And of course, everybody was like stunned. They're like, well, we know why, because that's all you search for when you're not doing political shit. But anyway, so yeah, it's a search algorithm. All right, so anyway, that's how that went down. You got to see how big that was. And then I walked all around. We're not going to do, by the way, I bought that. That's on my car right now. And I also bought one of these ham sticks. That's 17. On my car right now, too.
It goes from 17 to 40. Yeah, I bought the last 21. I bought the last 20 meter one that was there.
So I got all my stuff bought, thank God, because we were about to get kicked out. I got kicked out because I admitted to knowing the guy that didn't do anything wrong. So here I am. I'm minding my own business. I'm out here. I'm getting ready to do the... Oh, there's the food prices.
You want a double cheeseburger? It's $20. But yeah, most Hamfest.
The cover's been blown.
Really?
Yeah.
What's going on?
We're getting the boot.
Oh, you're leaving?
Trespassing doesn't they? Just the event security.
They're making you leave?
Yeah. Oh, we've been asked to have you. Yeah. I told them, oh, we're on our way out.
That's ridiculous.
Telling me.
That's ridiculous. Well, that'll look good on the internet.
Dom, I think you're talking about the TYT 7900. I have one in my car right now, and the TYT 8900, which is a quad band. Those are probably the radios you're talking about. Yeah, they're good radios. They're cloned after the Yaesu radio, and of course, Yaesu charges $600 or $800 for the same radio. And the Chinese are now making it for under $200 or right at $200. This is the future of things. The Chinese will eventually force the rest of these companies to compete. But I will tell you, there always will be a market for overpriced radios. There's always a market for overpriced radios. All right, now I want you to notice at this point in the video, Joseph right there is now pushing Carlotta in the cart. And here, they're being escorted out. That's what's going on right now. So he just took his disguise off.
Because you're doing... He didn't disturb anything. What did he do? What did he do? What did he do?
See, he keeps accusing him of disturbing, but he didn't disturb anything. They're kicking him out because someone else on someone else's page posted a meme that said that Joseph was going to F up the Hamfest. But nothing happened that day. We were very careful. None of us broke any rules that day. None. And that's why this whole thing is just ludicrous.
It absolutely is my business. This is a public venue. This is a public venue.
You need to talk to Yao Security. So
who?
The security for this event.
But you're the one doing this.
Okay, yes, we was told to, because this is our...
This is a public...
No, it's not public. It's
public.
For events only.
This is a public place.
If an event tell us that they don't want a certain person here, that's our job to get rid of them.
This is a public facility, sir. You can't trespass people from a public facility unless there's been a crime committed. That's the problem. It's a public facility.
That's the problem.
There was no crime committed, was there? Was there a crime committed, sir?
I have to explain that to you because that's not your concern.
Well, it is my concern. This is a public building. I'm a member of the public.
Are you a part of the event?
I am attending the event.
Okay, well, that's not your problem.
I mean, it's a public building.
Let that go, y'all. Let's get on our job. Let's get on our job.
So he just was downstairs.
There he goes, cussing me.
Complaint, sir. I'm going to, trust me. This is all going to be online. You guys had no right doing what you just did.
here's where she
isn't it?
won't give me his name.
You're not a police officer. Who do you work for? Huh? Do you work for this public venue?
Yes, I do.
So you work for the public? And you witnessed that man cuss me and use the F word to me, correct?
I don't want to be recorded.
You're in your official capacity.
Right.
I was just victimized. That's disorderly conduct.
Okay.
I need his name and I need to know who I need to file the complaint with.
If you want to file a complaint, do you have a booth here?
No, I'm attending the event today.
Public safety?
See, she don't give a shit. She just walks away.
This is ridiculous what has happened here. This is a public venue. This kind of stuff, and I want...
We promise a tenfold refund if it doesn't work.
For Christ's sake. I hate these ads. Yeah, there's teeth you can just put in your mouth and they're perfect. Yeah, okay.
Want to file a complaint. I'm trying to find who he works for and what his name is. They just kicked people out of here that didn't do anything wrong.
Now, I'm going to pause you right there, and I want you to answer the question honestly.
Okay.
Do you know that individual that was just kicked out?
Yes.
You do know that?
Yes, I do. Personally, I've been here with him the whole day.
Okay, he's not been here the whole day.
He has been here the whole day.
Notice he just said he's not been here the whole day. And I correct him. He has been here the whole day. How ignorant is that? Cop has made every assumption you can possibly make. He assumes everything. He investigates nothing.
Made documented threats towards the staff for the host of this.
I would like to see that.
That's not for you to decide. He made them to those individuals. This is a private
Government facility.
Do you want to...
I just, all I need, I don't want to cause a scene. I want to...
That's the picture right
Okay.
there.
Is that Mr. Greaves?
That's the picture that someone else posted. Joseph did not make that picture. Joseph did not post that picture. But that picture is why he got kicked out, and then vicariously I got kicked out.
Okay, that's why he's not asked to be here. Okay?
Okay, but that's not a threat against anybody.
I'm going to fuck up your event
Wait,
for a private event. They don't have to have
that
a reason.
security card just threatened to fuck me up.
I'm not speaking on behalf of security. I'm not speaking on behalf of security. I'm speaking on behalf of the BBC.
Okay, well, if they're gonna trespass him for doing that,
They can trespass
then
anybody. for
they
doing
need to do
anything.
something about their security guard, which is making threats against
And
me.
if they deem that necessary, they will.
But I don't know
You
his
need to
name.
raise that complaint with
Trust me, I'm going to be ready. I have 10, 15, 20,000 subscribers. People are going to know about this, trust me. But the point is, I'm trying to get that man's name. Are you not going to help me get that man's name?
I'm not a full-time employee here.
Well, I need to
that.
speak to the
If you want
management
his
of the
name,
Braun
I
Von
will get
Center.
I will get you somebody that's in charge, and that'll be up to them to decide.
That's fine. Is there a management office or?
Can I speak to Mr. Greaves, or are you going to continue to run?
They were all literally covering for each other. The whole time they were covering for each other. It got to be a little bit ridiculous. It went on and on and on. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. But they literally got to the point where they just kept repeating the same thing over and over again. This is a private venue. No, it's not. It's not. It's owned by the city of Huntsville, and it's managed by a city board appointed group of supervisors. Yeah, that we said that too. I mean, Joseph would have done it with AI, and it would have looked much better than that. Yeah, it's bad. It's like everybody's like back to blue. Well, back to blue until it happens to you. And it's happened to me several times. I've had my car flipped out here. I'm a former cop, and they pulled me over one day, did a fake canine search around my car. I know it was fake because I used to work with canine. The dog did not alert. Most people don't realize that when the dog sits down and looks at the officer, that's the alert. Dog never did it. The cop lied about the alert. They flopped my car. They messed my shit up. They dumped my stuff out. And then they left us on the side of the road to put it all back in the car. And I'm like, this is how you treat somebody that used to be a cop. They didn't give a shit. You know, I'll tell you what, the cops have made me hate them, and I was one. It's really a weird thing that's going on right now. I had that one down at the parade. You can go watch that on the Edison parade video, where the cop purposely kept shining her spotlight right in my face while I'm doing the show. And when I go over and ask her to not do it, she's an absolute C-word to me. I had to call her sergeant and have her sergeant drive out there and tell her to move her car. And then he was kind of a jerk. Yeah, trust me, you get shot, you'll get an ambulance, and the ambulance will drive you to the hospital, and they might give a shit a little bit. A cop gets shot, they get the fastest this, the best that, and 15-car escort. They've got every traffic light shut down from here to the hospital. Yeah, look, one of the things I have a problem with about law enforcement nowadays is the double standard. They don't get arrested for crimes. When they get sued, they have qualified immunity and they don't actually lose any of their own money. This is going to sound crazy, but I think they should take away qualified immunity completely, and cops should have to carry a bond. They should pay all these cops an extra couple $1,000s a year, and they should be required to take out their own bond for liability. And that way, when they get sued 2 or 3 or 4 times, they won't be able to afford to be a cop anymore because their bonding will be too expensive. That's what needs to happen to get these guys under control. We have to personally tie the money that they're losing their city to money that they're losing themselves. They get sued constantly, but the city always pays it, and nothing happens to them. They're still out on the road. There's one cop, he had $1 million lawsuit on him. He's still out working on the road. He cost that agency $1 million. It's crazy when you think about it. I think they should have to take out their own bonding, their own insurance. And that way, if they're too violent, then they'll be uninsurable, and they won't be able to be a cop anymore. And that's what needs to happen. We've got to get these cops to where they are personally... Look, when you're at work, if you break the law, or if you steal, or you damage something, or you do something ignorant, and you cause somebody to get hurt or killed, your shit's going to jail. Okay? Not them. They don't get arrested. They can commit crimes while they're on duty. They don't get arrested. They get sent home. And then cops, I don't know if you know this or not, but cops only get prosecuted on about 1% of the time when they're accused of beating people. They get prosecuted about 1% of the time. And of those prosecutions, most of the time, it's all worked out and it goes away and it's swept under the rug. Cops generally never actually face any punitive damages themselves personally, either through their freedom or their money. And that just needs to change. We need these cops. We need good cops. We need cops that care about us. These cops don't care about us anymore. I watch how they treat my neighbors here in this neighborhood. It's deplorable. And so we just got to get back to where there's a mutual respect. And the cops need to come down off the ego and just have some mutual respect. It is true that many of the people that would make great cops will not go be cops for one of about 5 different reasons. Including reasons like, well, you know, cops have got a bad reputation right now. Let me tell you something that a lot of people don't realize, okay? What a lot of people don't realize is that, like, traffic laws and that has nothing to do with safety. It has nothing to do with safety. It has to do with getting in your car, checking your name, getting arrestees, getting people who have warrants, finding people who are driving on a suspended. That's what it's all about. It has nothing to do with you rolling through the stop sign. It has nothing to do with your safety. We had a sheriff here 2 sheriffs ago that said, I'm going to run for sheriff and I'm going to stop the deaths on the highway. We had 117 deaths on the highway this year, and we're going to reduce that number. I'm going to run for sheriff, and he told everybody when he ran for sheriff that he was going to double the size of the Traffic Enforcement Bureau, and he was going to quadruple the number of tickets that his department wrote for moving violations. And he became sheriff. They elected him. And sure enough, he did. He doubled the size of the traffic unit, and he actually ended up screwing himself. He doubled the size of the traffic unit. He put incentives in place for his guys to write more tickets. He was given days off if they wrote so many tickets in so many days. That's dangerous. That's called quotas, and it's technically illegal. But they always find some way around it. And this guy ended up writing 4 times the amount of tickets the following year. And guess what? Fatalities went up by 6%. So this guy quadrupled the amount of tickets they wrote. And the fatalities still went up by about the same average every year, but 4 to 10%. They went up 6%. So basically what we learned from that whole experience is, and this is repeated everywhere, but what we learned from this experience here locally is that you can be the big tough sheriff that writes 4 times as many tickets, that goes out and buys new radar guns for every car, that goes out and buys new ticket books and trains every cop to write every single ticket, quadrupling the amount of tickets that your agency writes in 1 year, and the fatalities still went up by the standard amount. The reason is because there's no direct correlation between traffic enforcement and traffic safety. Face it, as soon as you pass the trooper on the interstate, you go right back up to 85 or whatever you were running. I use Waze and Google simultaneously, and I know when a cop's coming up, and I slow down, and I drive by the cop, and then I speed right back up to 85 or whatever I want to do. It's foolish. It's stupid. A cop writing somebody a ticket for rolling through a stop sign does not make anyone safer. It does not make anyone more secure in their life or their family's lives or anything like that. All it does is get revenue for the department, mess up your license and cost you money. And it helps the insurance companies charge you more money. You starting to see it here? Traffic enforcement has nothing to do with public safety. Traffic enforcement is simply a way to get in your car. Tickets do not reduce accidents or fatalities, and it does not decrease the number of accidents on the road. It's just like every other war. The war on drunk driving, the war on reckless driving. It's just like the war on drugs and the war on famine and the war on terror and the war on homelessness and the war on women's liberation. When you start thinking about it, we've had 1,000 wars, and the last war we won was World War II. Christ, we didn't even win Korea. We're still on a ceasefire. This is ridiculous. And this is just one more war that they're fighting. But the truth is, traffic stops have nothing to do, truthfully, with traffic safety. They have everything to do with getting in your car. Because what gets cops promoted? Drug arrests. Many departments, including the one here, they promote people. One of the biggest criteria that you get judged on is the number of self-initiated drug arrests. That's correct. Self-initiated drug arrests. These guys go out all night. They don't write parking tickets. They don't write traffic tickets. They don't do any of that. They go out and they pull over car after car after car, violating their civil rights, searching through their car, searching through their bags, searching through their shit, going all into their personal lives. Because they want the drugs. All they care about is drugs. They get more points towards sergeant than catching a rapist. You could solve a murder, and it will not count as many points towards your sergeant's exam as a little bag of cocaine. It's stupid. Yeah, car stops are there to get revenue through writing tickets, to justify their self-worth by creating activity and keeping the judges and the clerks and everybody else employed. Because remember, the number one job of government is to increase the size and scope of government. That's a fact. You can ask anybody. That's the way it works. The number one thing that you do in government is protect government. That's why when you go file a complaint on a police officer, they won't let you file it anonymously. You have to give them your driver's license to file a complaint. Why? Why do they do that? Why do they make you do that? Because they're trying to scare you off before you file the complaint. And then if you file the complaint, do you know why they need your driver's license? Because they're going to make you swear that everything in there is true. And then all they have to do is go back and find one thing that you were wrong about. Because maybe they have a tape that you don't know about or something. Maybe you misquoted something, or you said he said something he didn't say. They arrest you for filing a false police report. That's what's been going on for a while now. People go in, anytime you go in to file, like this officer I'm going to file a complaint on, I'm going to send it to his internal affairs department, and I'm going to give them my name and my phone number and everything so they can call me back. But the truth is, unless I go there and sign an affidavit, they probably won't even investigate it. Because the first thing they try to do is arrest the person that's reporting the police officer. Yeah, they're not trying to stop drugs. Drugs are their gravy train. They want you toting drugs around. That's what they want. Because then they can stop you and get those drugs and get promoted to sergeant. Yep, Matt, well, we kind of thought that with marijuana, but they still use it as an excuse. Every single stop, they smell marijuana. I think they teach that in the academy now. Hi, I'm Officer so-and-so. I smell marijuana. I mean, that's pretty much the way they are. Every time they walk up to any car, they smell marijuana. Yeah, they're finding more and more of these officers smoking the shit they take off of people. That's becoming quite a thing as well. Oh, look, it's Kami Memdami. Right there, asshole. God, I hate communists. Not a big commie fan, guys. I'm not a commie fan. All right, so let's talk about the next thing we got to talk about. All right. It's hurricane season. You guys knew that already, right? Oh, for God's sake. All right, so this is what we're looking at right now, guys. These are our two areas of concern. The one over here is way off of, just coming off of the African coastline. It's a tropical wave and associated area of low pressure over the far eastern Atlantic. This is just a few hundred miles southeast of Cabo Verde Islands. It's producing disorganized showers and thunderstorms. This system could become tropical depression during the next few days. And remember, as it moves over here, it will run into probably less favorable conditions due to the extremely aggressive El Nino that we've got going on. This one here, disturbance number 1, 50% chance of cyclone formation. This one's up in the central subtropical Atlantic, an area of low pressure. A couple hundred miles east of Bermuda, is moving northward at 15 to 20. and it's east of Bermuda. That's Bermuda right there, that little speck. So it's already east of Bermuda, which means it's probably going to be a fish storm, not going to really affect anybody at all. So that's what we are looking at here. I think we're on Mike's weather page. Let me see which one this is. Invest 96L. And it looks like the models are all wanting to take it north of the islands. So that's probably going to end up being a fish storm. That'll probably end up being a fish storm. That's what it looks like. But probably not going to be much. And then some of the models here are predicting tropical storm force, and there's actually 4 models that are predicting a short-term spin up into a hurricane, but then it's going to get into this less than favorable conditions out 120 days. It gets into these less favorable conditions as it gets a little closer to the Caribbean. So that's not going to be favorable for that to develop. I don't see really any potential with either one of these. Let me see if I can get this to pull up. This one here, why won't that? It won't get any bigger. That's just great. All right, well, you can see here, if you can, there's your storm, and here's all of the extended model runs. There's a few models that take it into Florida, but pretty much a fish storm. Pretty much a fish storm. So that's that. So nothing right now in the tropical Atlantic, the Caribbean Sea, or the Gulf of America. Okay, next up. Today, quiet with a chance of flares. Solar activity has been low for about 48 hours now, but NOAA forecasters are now estimating a 45% chance that sunspot 4513 will break the quiet today with an M-class solar flare. Also, a lunar eclipse this week. Almost every American will be able to see it on Thursday night, August 27th. That's coming up. Earth's shadow will engulf the moon for an almost total eclipse at a maximum of 96% of the solar disk. It is not a full eclipse, but it's close. And it's producing that copper red colored moon with a diamond ring type of thing. And it's in the bright silver on the north edge. Observers in the eastern and central USA can see the whole thing, start to finish. Along the west coast, the moon rises around the time the partial phase begins, so the early stages play out low in the evening twilight, but maximum eclipse will be visible from the coast to coast. Solar eclipses and lunar eclipses come in pairs. This week's lunar eclipse bookends the total solar eclipse that Europeans enjoyed back on August 12th. Europeans are not well positioned to see the lunar climax, but North and South Americans have a front row seat for this one. If you've never seen a lunar eclipse, this will be fun. It's in the middle of the night, though. Eastern time, it will peak out at 12:13 a.m. Starts at 9:23 p.m., ends at 3:02 a.m. in the morning. That's Eastern Daylight Time. All right. Every time somebody sends Amarillo, I hear that country song, Amarillo by morning. Anyway, it was a rodeo song, I'm pretty sure. Let's see here. Yep, definitely not much to worry about. All right. Okay, so that's all that with space weather. Let's go check out what other news we've got going on out there. There has to be something going on. This Abdul El Saeed guy is really a piece of crap. The WNBA just created a bigger problem. They just told those two guys they couldn't join. Now what are they going to do? You know, they had 4 meetings and they could never decide on the definition of a female or a woman. I think if anybody out there cannot figure out how to describe a woman or what a woman is, maybe you shouldn't be on a governing board of anything. Just saying. Kind of crazy. The WNBA has apparently decided that Eanes, Kanter, Freedom, and Royce White aren't eligible to play in the league. Now it needs to say on the record how it reached that decision. Front Office Sports reported Monday that unnamed league sources said Freedom and White, 2 former NBA players who declared to be on the WNBA draft in 27, are ineligible. The source also called their declaration simply public stunts and said the league would not give oxygen to efforts intended to mock it or demean others. Well, by letting men play in women's sports, you are mocking and demeaning yourself. Oh, I hope they get their ass suit off by everybody. I think the NBA just should pull their funding and they'd be over with. What makes them ineligible? They won't say. The only question that matters is that, what makes them ineligible? The WNBA still will not answer that question. Freedom and White are obviously making their point. Nobody thinks either man is seriously preparing to spend next season trying to earn a WNBA roster spot, but calling it a stunt doesn't make the point go away. That's correct. You can call it whatever you want, but it's getting the point across, isn't it? The WNBA collective bargaining agreement says only players who are women are eligible to play in the league. As the FOS report itself acknowledges, the CBA does not define women or include language about gender identity or sex assigned at birth. That's the problem for the WNBA, is it's not a problem that was created by Freedom or White. They created their own problem, and it was created by the liberals with this whole men and women's sports bullshit. If the league has now determined that 2 males who say they identify as women do not satisfy the eligibility standard, it should be able to explain the standard it used. Does the WNBA define women based on biological sex? If so, say it. Is self-identification sufficient? If so, say it. Does the league use a different set of criteria for someone who identifies as transgender? If it does, players and prospective draft entrants deserve to know those criteria before the 27 draft starts. The league has reportedly made the call. It says neither Freedom or White can play. Now it needs to explain the rule that they used to make this decision. It does not get to make the decision anonymously. It doesn't get to dismiss their challenge. You can't just call it a public stunt and it be over with. You can't just pretend that there's nothing to discuss. Outkick asked the WNBA to confirm whether the FOS report reflected its official position, identify the criteria used to determine Freedom and White were ineligible, define woman under Article, Article 13, Section 1A of the CBA, and say whether the league will publish written guidance before the draft. The WNBA didn't respond to our request. No shit. It did, however, have unnamed sources tell Front Office Sports that Freedom and White are ineligible. Guys, this has to be fixed, this whole thing. Because now they're saying, well, these 2 guys aren't really transgenders. Well, this other guy over here that's playing basketball, he's not really transgender either. He's still got a cock and balls. I think if they want to play in women's sports, they need to have the laparoscopy surgery. Go ahead and get it over with. Split that puppy around, sew it down, make a hole, make it count. The bottom line, they're literally destroying themselves when they do this. I just don't quite understand it, but okay. Oh man, I'm tired. I'm gonna sleep so good tonight. Oh my God, the cops are chasing some guy, and they're chasing him, and they jump into an Uber and tell him to go out chase after that guy. Oh my God, that's funny. Here's another thing I wanted to mention tonight, and I am going to be signing off here in about 15 or 20. I'm doing my 2 hours tonight, but I got to go. I'm very tired. The NFL Sunday ticket is no longer worth the price.
Collectors, the thrill of the chase just got way better.
Oh, it's Kobe.
Shut up. You may have received an email over the past week about renewing or adding NFL Sunday ticket, YouTube's exclusive package for out-of-market NFL games. You may also have noticed the price. It's expensive, and each year the NFL further reduces the package's value by expanding its national windows. Let us explain. Sunday Ticket does not include nationally televised games or games available in your local market. Subscribers do not receive Thursday Night Football, Sunday Night Football, or Monday Night Football, nor does the package include the 3 or 4 games available locally across Fox and CBS during the 1 p.m. and the 4 p.m. time slots. For example, viewers in Michigan cannot watch Lions games on Sunday Ticket because those games are aired locally on your local Fox or CBS affiliate. We agree the NFL's television schedule is unnecessarily complicated, they say, and it's getting worse. Netflix will carry 5 games this season, 49ers, Rams, and stuff like that. So if you want to watch all the games, you're going to need to have at least 2 things so far. Yes, Thanksgiving Eve means the NFL will play on Wednesday, and because Netflix will air a Thursday night game in Week 1, NBC will move its Patriots-Seahawks season opener also to a Wednesday, September the 26th. The NFL will then play 4 Friday night games, Packers, Bears, Bulls, Broncos, whatever, on Fox, and on Christmas Day, the Broncos, Steelers, Amazon. So in total, the NFL will play 6 games on Wednesdays and Fridays this season, 2 days it long avoided ever playing on, in part because of legal restrictions. Further, 9 of the league's 18 weeks will include an international game, most of which will air on NFL Network at 9:30. What does this have to do with Sunday Ticket? Each time the NFL sells a new national window to a broadcaster, it removes that game would have otherwise been on the Sunday Ticket. It removes it. The result is fewer games on Sunday Ticket, and the Sunday Ticket price has gone up drastically. YouTube lists the standard price for $26.27 Sunday Ticket at $480. You can divide it into 8 $60 payments. Most users can purchase... Oh, and you have to pay for the whole season. You can't unsubscribe. Most users can purchase it for less. The $480 price is misleading. It largely exists. So basically, they do give you discounts on that. It is pretty common for people to put something out for a higher than normal price and then offer everybody some kind of discount or sale. Teachers, military members, veterans, first responders, medical workers can purchase tickets for $198 a year. The price varies by subscribers. Still, Sunday Ticket lasts just 4 months. At any of those prices, it remains one of the most expensive streaming subscriptions available in the world. And because of the scheduling changes cited above, the number of games no longer justifies the cost. Again, most of the week's best matchups will air elsewhere. Any game that's airing nationally or on national TV or on another network will not be on the NFL ticket, yet the price has gone up hundreds of dollars. The following teams, let's see. Sunday ticket is the only way for fans of those teams to watch them weekly from a different state. So if you're from Baltimore and you want to watch the Baltimore team, that's why you would get Sunday ticket. But the problem is now you may not still get all of the games. You're going to also need Netflix. You're going to also need to be able to have NBC and Fox and CBS, your networks. You're also going to have God knows what else. So there you go, guys. That's what happens. All right. All right. Anything in the chat room? Put anything in the chat room you want me to see? Hey, D-Beard. No, I got home from work. I got home from this 3-day trip to Huntsville and found Eddie. Ed Earl the cat, nearly unresponsive. He was in bad shape. He went straight to the vet, and a couple $100 later, he's full of antibiotics and liquids and everything else. So we're worried about him. Mama's doing great. The boys in here are doing fine. Everybody outside's good. Everybody's accounted for. It's just poor Eddie. I'd bring him over so you guys could see him. He's full of water. You know how they put a needle into their skin and they fill the space between their skin and their body with water. I know it sounds crazy. It's something you can't do on humans, but cats have this really loose skin. Dogs do too, to a degree, but cats have really loose skin. It's supposed to help them get away in fights and things like that. And you can fill that void between the skin and the muscle with water, and it doesn't hurt the cats. And that's what it is. And they filled him up with water, and they gave him some medicines, and here we go. We're going to see if we can nurse him back to health here. Got him home, put down some food for Mama Kitty, and he wanted it. So I made him a bowl of some of that cat chicken stew that I have, and a little bit of a push-up that I gave Mama half the push-up and him the other half. And I also had a little bit of that cat food they like in there. And he ate. I watched him eat quite a bit, so I'm impressed to be that sick earlier and to already be back to eating something and drinking. That's pretty good. So yeah, I'm happy about that. So Ed was in really bad shape. I think if he was left in there, he probably would have died in a few days. But luckily, we got him the help he needed, and he should be doing good, hopefully soon. And the Trump administration is looking at revoking 200,000 visas. That's crazy. That's a lot. 200,000 people being told, hey, buddy, you got to move out. You got to go back home. Yeah, cats are faster than snakes. Not that the snake will never get them, but it's pretty hard for the snake to get them. Yeah, I think he's going to be okay. He's got me keeping him alive here, and I'm pretty good at that, even though I lost Daddy Kitty. But yeah, I'm pretty good at that. I'm going to keep him around. If he is sound asleep over there in the window, and I don't want to mess with him, I'd bring him over. I'll show you guys. I'll bring him in tomorrow night. Like I said, he's all full of water right now. I'm afraid to pick him up anyway. But the poor guy. You rarely see cats this sick. I mean, he is very sick. It's scary. What is it with this trial and this? I don't even know her name. I don't care. This woman killed all her kids, and now everybody wants to save her. You know what? We had a woman drive all her kids in the lake. Nobody wanted to save her. We had another mother drown 5 of her kids about 6 years ago. Nobody wanted to save her. But now there's this case where this woman kills all her kids, and all the other women are coming to her defense. Oh, it's postpartum this or postpartum that, and it's a mental illness and this and that. Well, guess what? When guys kill people, it's a mental illness too. You know, I want you to think about it. I'm not trying to be flippant, okay? I want you to listen to what I'm saying. Men go temporarily insane and they kill people. Women go temporarily insane and they kill people. It's just most of the time men kill other men and women kill their babies. I don't know why. That seems to be a weird thing that goes on in our world with human beings. But that's still... that doesn't mean that these people are not wrong. Look, if you kill all your kids and you turn around and say, "Oh, you know, I have a mental problem." I don't care. You killed your kids. I'm sorry. I think she's an evil bitch too, Ted. It looks odd with it under their skin. It does. It does. Yeah, and it sloshes all around under there. It's a mess. But it doesn't seem to bother them. I've asked the vet, and the vet's like, no, we don't believe it actually causes them any pain. Yeah. I think a lot of times when women kill all their kids, it's to get back at the man. I also think sometimes when women kill all their kids, they're just crazy. They're crazy. And I'm so sick of the innocent by means of insanity. No, you still did it. It should be guilty despite insanity. Because you still did it. It was still you. Moorhead, you're right. It is kind of weird what people have, like a crime fetish. A lot of these crime fetish people, man, they love this stuff. Which one was Susan Smith? Was that the one in the van or the other one in the tub? I can't remember. There's been so many of them. It's funny if you hear they were all drowned in a tub, you know a woman did it. And like most of the time when a school gets shot up, it's usually a transsexual. Oh, Lambert, I'm not going to go quite that far. That one, Smith was the Texas one. I'm done, guys. I'm going to go lay down with my kitties. Well, there's been multiple ones everywhere. There's several in Texas. There's been multiples. I understand it's something that happens to women, but that doesn't mean that they're innocent because they're crazy. I don't really believe that. I don't know why these people are defending this woman. She killed her kids. Yeah, but she was crazy. Okay, so she's crazy, and she killed her kids. Hey, no worries, Moorhead. And guys, I'm going to be signing off as well. But thank you, everybody, for being here. It's been fun. Things should return completely back to normal by tomorrow. Although we did pretty good tonight. I was about 5 minutes late getting on, but we got everything on, and that was because of what was going on outside the house. But we did get everything on, and that's all that really matters. So I'll be back on tomorrow night. Sorry about the yawning. I'll be back on tomorrow night at 9 o'clock Eastern for another episode, and I hope you guys enjoy that. Yep, thank you all for being here. I really do appreciate it. I've still got a bed full of luggage and cases and everything I've got to stow and get stuff put away here. Yeah, I heard about that, Moorhead. It's terrible. Yep. And more on these flock cameras, man. The people are cutting them down everywhere. There's now been 13 of them disabled or damaged or destroyed here just in Lee County alone in Florida. So, and in California, there's a bunch of them. And now I just heard from 2 different people at the Huntsville Hamfest that they're going to be doing a big thing Halloween night. They're planning on taking down as many of them as they can on Halloween night. Now, I don't condone people going out and violating the law, but you do what you want to do. Look up high-powered laser. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. Yep, that's it. That's all I got, guys. Yep, it's 11 o'clock. There it is. Well, these no-flock protests need to get bigger. They need to be more involved. And more people need to get involved in different ways. Yeah. I've got to where I'm you know what I'm considering? I'm going to put a wheelchair rack on the back of my car. I think that's what I'm going to do. In Florida, there's an exemption. If you've got a wheelchair rack, that doesn't count as obstructed tag. So in other words, the tag goes on the wheelchair rack, but you still don't have a clear view of it. And it'll be enough that the tag readers won't be able to read it. And that's all I really give a shit. I don't want to obscure it if a cop gets behind me, but I do want to make it to where the tag trackers can't read it. Yep. Those flock cameras are bad news, man, because they're connecting that to AI. And once they do that, anything you do might look suspicious. Moorhead, it would still help from the respect that most cameras scan cars from behind. You're right, it would make it to where it would still get you sometimes. But most cameras are designed so that it scans the car as it's driving away from the camera, not towards it. I could also just put a bike rack on there and hang some bike on there until it rusts off. All right. I hate front and back plates. We've never had front plates here. I just hate that. It's what an intrusion to make you put that on the front of your car. It's just a waste. Yep, that's also why the new plates are flat. The letters are not indented like they used to be. The letters are just on there now. They're not indented into the metal. All right, everybody, I want you to have a good night out there. I'll see you tomorrow night, right back here at 9 o'clock for the Sights and Sounds of Earth. My name's Ian. This is StarShip Adventures, and we've been broadcasting live on YouTube, the world's largest broadcast platform. And tonight's show has been sponsored by Trumpanol. Trumpanol, the leading medicine for Trump derangement syndrome. If you've got a crazy liberal in your family, get some Trumpanol today and calm that crazy bitch down. That's right, Trumpanol. Get some today. The leading medicine for Trump derangement syndrome. All right, guys, this is StarShip Adventures. It's the Sights and Sounds of Earth, and we're going to see you tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern, right back here on the channel. Until then, everyone have a good night and a safe tomorrow, and we will see you next time. Good night, everybody. This is the YouTube channel StarShip Adventures, broadcasting live from StarShip Studios in North Fort Myers, Florida, in the United States of America. We thank you for joining us this evening for another broadcast of the Sights and Sounds of Earth, covering every breaking news story across this troubled planet of ours. We brought you the raw, unfiltered pulse of the world in real time through our unique multi-screen format, broadcasting in high definition worldwide via fiber optic connection. StarShip Adventures, a new kind of YouTube content. To our regular viewers, our loyal crew members, our amazing moderators, and everyone who tunes in each night at 9 p.m. Eastern, we thank you. Your support keeps this independent voice alive and well. We'll be back tomorrow evening at 9 p.m. Eastern with another live edition of the Sights and Sounds of Earth, right here on StarShip Adventures. Until then, stay safe, stay informed, and may God bless you and these United States of America. This is StarShip Adventures, and this concludes our broadcast day. Good night, America, and around the world. Kilo Oscar 4, Echo Foxtrot Sierra, signing off. QSY, 7-3s, everyone, 7-3s.
Bye.